Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Holly carries pills to the New Year's Eve party. Xander was counseling Victoria's taking care of timetable when Sarah came by. Astonished, Xander said he had expected that Sarah would be at her New Year's Eve party. I simply needed to stop in and give Victoria another year's kiss, Sarah said. Sarah radiated as she peered down at her resting little girl. At the point when Sarah kissed Victoria, she noticed that her head was warm. I didn't see that she was warm when I laid her down. Is it true that she is okay? Xander inquired. Sarah noticed that Victoria's temperature was just somewhat raised, and she asked Xander for child acetaminophen. Xander mumbled, "I don't have that." Sarah stated, "When having a baby, every parent needs certain things." Xander requested a rundown with the goal that he would be more ready. Stressed, Xander snatched his jacket, and he took off to the store. Xander apologized for not having the medicine on hand when he returned with it. "It's all right. We have it now," Sarah said. After the had opportunity and willpower to produce results, Xander asked what was straightaway. Sarah made sense of that they would stand by to check whether the fever decreased. "I'm going to message my companion to tell her I'm not coming to the party," Sarah said. Xander inquired as to whether she was certain. Sarah noticed that Victoria was her need. At the point when Sarah next checked Victoria's temperature, it had returned to ordinary. "Say thanks to God," Xander murmured with help. "Between the drugs and your cradle song," Sarah said with a smile. Xander encouraged Sarah to make a beeline for her party, however, Sarah declined. "I'd a lot of rather be here with my daughter." "Furthermore, Sarah said. As Johnny and Chanel strolled through the town square, Chanel said she wished they had not let Paulina home be. Johnny noticed that Paulina could not have possibly allowed them to remain in for New Year's Eve regardless of whether they had needed to remain. With a gesture, Chanel concurred. "It's simply, going into this new year, stressing that she could have malignant growth," Chanel said with a shrug. "Assuming the worst, regardless of whether it is malignant growth, she will seek treatment and beat it senseless." Johnny stated, "I'm living proof you can put cancer behind you." Johnny promised that they would persevere together throughout the ordeal. With a sneer, Chanel contended that Paulina had believed them should show up at the party so they could report back to Paulina pretty much every one of the subtleties. "She's typically the one holding court in the focal point, all things considered," Chanel said. "Anything that the explanation, I'm only glad to be here this evening, holding you," Johnny said. Johnny gave Chanel a kiss. Outside the Brady bar, Leo got Chad's arm and halted him. "I have an exceptionally fascinating suggestion for you," Leo said. Leo contended that it was really great for dissemination for Chad to enlist back woman informant. "On the off chance that you can get Everett to approve it, I'm fine with it. As long as you adhere to some guidelines," Chad stated. All Chad requested last endorsement on Leo's sections. Leo consented to downplay the vileness. "Any enormous New Year's Eve plan for yourself and Stephanie?" Leo inquired. Chad conceded that they had separated. Leo pondered when he had seen Stephanie escape the Brady bar promptly in the first part of the day. "When did you and Stephanie throw in the towel?" Leo inquired. Chad let Leo know that his connections were untouchable. In the Salem motel, Stephanie got together with Everett. "The new editor-in-chief is you. There are a ton of movers and shakers around at this party. This is a decent way for you to meet them," Stephanie said. "Why can't I just meet them at work?" Everett inquired. Stephanie contended that blenders were an aspect of Everett's responsibilities. As Stephanie fixed Everett's tie, she noticed, "This is work. For the two of us." Whenever Stephanie assisted Everett with his sleeve buttons, she called attention to that she had given them to him. Everett remarked, "They're my favorites." Stephanie grinned. In the recreation area, Alex was enlightening Teresa concerning his most awful New Year's Eve date when they ran into Brady and Tate. Inquisitive, Teresa got some information about Tate's arrangements, and Brady said that Tate was going out with Holly. Last I heard, you were tossing her Christmas present in the waste, Teresa said. Indeed, we sorted out things, Tate murmured. Tate let Brady know that he was sorry Brady's date had bailed for the night, and he left. My date was Rachel, however, Kristen removed her from town for the end of the week, Brady said. As Brady went to leave, Teresa demanded that Brady go out with them. I care very little about being an unnecessary extra person with you folks. I'm about to return home, Brady said. Teresa contended that Brady could meet somebody at the party. I'm not keen on gathering a lady this evening, Brady said. Teresa countered that Brady ought to go with them for the food and tomfoolery. You truly need to spend New Year's Eve all alone? Teresa inquired. Brady flinched. I will come, however, only for a brief period, Brady said. Teresa requested Brady to remain through the commencement into the new year. This new year is presumably going to be very much like the old year, Brady whined. This year will be astonishing, Teresa contended. Teresa kidded that the new year would stop war, starvation, and infection. There could try and be propositions to be engaged. I don't have the foggiest idea, Teresa said with a wink at Alex. As Brady moaned, Teresa pushed him out of the recreation area. Alex whispered, I wouldn't rule that out, as he followed. In the back street behind the bistro, Stefan commended Ava on the New Year's Eve party. I'm simply happy that was the last pickup, so presently we can focus on the party, Ava said. Stefan's telephone rang with a news alert. 2 Salem kids were seen as dead. Ode, Stefan said. In disbelief, Ava shook her head. You think it came from here? Ava murmured. Stefan conceded he didn't have the foggiest idea about that. We don't have the foggiest idea where the shipments come from, what's in them, or where they're going. We're not street pharmacists, okay? Stefan said. Ava jeered. You continue to let yourself know that, Ava said. With a moan, Ava contemplated whether their situation could deteriorate. Stefan cautioned Ava not to risk everything. Ava advised Stefan that Tripp had chosen to move to Hong Kong with Wendy. Perhaps it will be overall a positive thing, from that point forward he'll be out of Clyde's compass, Ava said. No such karma with Gabby, however, Stefan murmured. With a gesture, Ava told Stefan, discussing your significant other, there is something you should be aware. I told Harris that I was seeing her. Stefan raised an eyebrow, and he inquired as to why. Ava made sense of that. Harris had accepted they were dating, so she had obliged it to divert Harris's doubts. Suppose you're correct, however I disdain the possibility of the public reasoning I'm undermining Gabby, Stefan said. Stefan moaned, and he concurred it was a decent cover. Suppose we're engaging in extramarital relations. Ava said. At the Demera Chateau, Holly was getting ready for her night out. A pill bag was taken out of her desk drawer when she reached in. Nicole stuck her head into the room. Holly pushed the pack into the pocket of her wraparound. With a smile, Nicole told Holly she had caught wind of Holly's date with Tate. In any case, in the event that you want me to remain at home, Holly said. Nicole said no. I'm fine. I had a treatment meeting today, and I'm in a great spot. As a result, EJ and I are spending the night alone, Nicole stated. Nicole said she would be glad to realize that Holly was out having a great time on New Year's Eve. I'm anticipating it, Holly said as she tapped her pocket.